Hello and welcome to WLVL's inaugural episode of Racing Through Radio. I'm your host, Samm Moore, and I'll be here every Sunday at noon this summer talking to you about what's happening over at Ransomville Speedway on Friday nights. I'll be in the pits talking to drivers and race officials about how their night's going and figuring out what's going on in their head while they're on dirt. And we're not just talking to winners either this season. I'm going to be walking around with all my gear talking to anybody who's willing to tell me how their night's going. Longtime racers, newbies, never placed, it doesn't matter. If you want to talk about it, I want to know about it. This previous Friday, April 26th, was the season's test tune in time, which has been a hard thing to come by these past few years due to the unpredictability that is spring weather. But despite the constant rainfall this previous week before the races, the Speedway was able to get the track in a good shape and make sure that people were out there running their motors. I spent some time walking around talking to some drivers, figuring out how they felt about everything going on this season, and it seemed like there was an overall sense of hope in this regard. Being able to come out and work on their cars early made them feel a little bit more confident about how this season was going to go and to feel like they were going to be able to put on a better show for those coming to see it. A total of 71 safe and legal cars got registered pit side and were able to make their way onto the track for this week's time trials. These time trials not only gave racers their fastest lap time to start with this season, but acted as a way to decide how we were going to set up the front rows for opening heats next week. The fastest driver in their divisions were, please forgive me if I mess up any of these names, were Phil Venigri and Gary Lindenberg for the Crown Undercoating 358 Modifieds, Brett Senek and Jordan Moden for the Sterling Lubricants Dirt Car Sportsman, Brandon Sherwood and John Zimmermans for the Kaipo Chevrolet Street Stocks, Ryan Plant and Curtis Rung for the Sandflowers of Sanborn Mini Stocks, and rounding out our group was Tyler Foster and Ken Carriage for the Kevin Carpet Cleaning Novice Sportsman. One of my favorite things about early season is getting to walk around and looking at everybody's cars in the pits for this season. I don't really know much about how the cars work, but I've always appreciated the effort that goes into the wrap designs for these cars. When I was younger, my parents would take me and my brother to the track, and nothing decided which car we liked more than how they looked. Half the time, midway through the race, I couldn't tell you who was at the front of the pack, but boy, could I tell you which one was my favorite. Now, as somebody who works in graphic design and spends a decent amount of their time at the track with their family, I think you can tell a lot about a person by how they choose to present themselves on their car. It's sort of beautiful the way that it forms a relationship with the younger fans. So many kids and teenagers are looking at these race cars, and I think they're so well branded and so cleanly made that it makes it a lot easier for younger fans to pick a car and run with it for the season, regardless of its performance. And I think later on during Autograph Night, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Plenty of young kids coming to see their favorite cars, and I guess also the drivers. We're going to cut to a short commercial break brought to you by our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be talking with Tyler Moore, Ransomville Speedway driver for the 24M WLVL car.
Race fans, take a pit stop at the Thousand Islands Cruet. Their olive oils and vinegar will bring the taste of victory right to your kitchen. Dress your salads, marinate your meats, visit them online, thecruet.com.
Thinking about remodeling your home? Brendels is here. They are Buffalo's one-stop shop for all your renovation needs, from interior and exterior painting to complete remodeling services. Give Brendels a call at 845-5544.
Welcome back. I'm here with Tyler Moore, driver of the 24M car that is partnered with WLVL, and the reason this radio show kind of gets to exist. How are you today, Tyler?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Last night, we saw a lot of drivers go out on the track. It was a very good day. We typically don't get to do test and tune due to the weather. How was it being on the track again last night?
It felt awesome, really. It was nice to get the car out, shake it down. Personally, my car felt great the first time out and then started to push on me, so we'll have to get that figured out. But it seemed like everybody had, a pretty good night, and the track was awesome in the beginning. Really no complaints.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you were having a lot of fun out there. It looked like everybody who was out there, very high energy, having a lot of fun. I know you and your crew spent a lot of time in the off season working on the car and made sure that a lot of the changes that were made correctly. How are you feeling going into this upcoming season?
Really strong, actually. We got a lot of new parts on the car. We got new sponsors, and we got fresh engine in there, brand new killer crate. I'm really feeling good about this year.
Is there any events this season that you're looking forward to specifically?
Absolutely. We got the memorial race for my little brother coming up. I think that's July 27th. So definitely looking forward to that. It's always a fun event for me every year, to see everybody out there and, racing in memory of my little brother there. And it's a special event for us, so always looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm definitely looking forward to as well. That and the Demolition Derby is always a good time to see everybody out there having fun, just wrecking and being allowed to wreck without having to worry about all the costs that come with it. Talking about costs, your car got a pretty big visual rehaul this season. Took away a lot of those blues and the more intricate design and kind of just dialed it back a little bit. Was there anything that inspired that change?
Yeah, absolutely. Our big sponsor this year, Brendel Painting and Services, they're black, red, and white on their logo. So we wanted to kind of, nod our hats to them and thank them for coming on board and match their colors and just kind of going for a retro, old school kind of feel. And I think we nailed that this year with the scheme on the car and everything we got going on with it. So.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car, very mean looking from every angle it's at. You can tell exactly what you guys were looking to put forward with that. You guys also have this beautiful memorial piece on the roof. Would you like to talk about that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. We got my grandmother and my brother up there. So my grandfather actually bought us the motor this year, and he had asked for one thing and one thing only, to have the roof how he wanted it, and I could not be happier with the way it came out. You definitely got to come out to the track and check it out. Pictures don't do it justice.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful car, and everything about this car, the whole story about it, the real family outlook that you guys are really pushing for this season is beautiful. You guys are doing a lot to kind of bring that community back to the track and just kind of show what racing is about. It's not just what you're doing on the track, but off the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Tyler.
Thank you.
Race fans, need a pit stop for flavor? The Thousand Islands Cruet has olive oils and vinegars to marinate your meats and elevate your eats. Find your checkered flag flavor online at thecruet.com. Does your home feel a little tired? Brendel Services can help. They're your Buffalo-based home improvement experts, proudly serving the Western New York community since 1973. Give Brendel's a call today at 845-5544.
Welcome back to Racing Through Radio. I hope you guys are still tuned in and hanging out with me. Next week is the official race night opening for Ransomville Speedway over on Braley Road. Pits will open at 5 p.m. to driver and crew to allow you guys some time to get ready and start working on your cars for the show. Grandstands open shortly after at about 6 p.m. I believe concessions also open at that time if you're looking to grab a bite to eat, but make sure you bring some cash with you if you're looking to eat because they do not take card at the stands. There is an ATM next to the beer tent, however. Cars should start rolling out of the track for hot laps at roughly 6:45, and then features will begin at 7:15. Make sure you grab yourself a sweater and you pack warm. As I said before, spring gets a little unpredictable with the weather, and once that sun sets, it gets real chilly on the track. Personally, I made the mistake of not packing enough for last week, and I spent most of the night shivering in our little car area. But I think that brings us to the end of our show. Once again, I am Samm Moore. This has been Racing on the Radio, and I hope to see you guys at the track Friday.